From Up Late to Always Late, The Effect of Caffeine on Short-Term Memory of Drosophila melanogaster, a project by me, Dominic Wright. The defining question is, does drinking an excessive amount of caffeine ultimately have a negative effect on your ability to retain memory? Caffeine already has an effect on every system and function in your body, and it's even proven to be harmful as it opens up airways and constricts blood vessels inside your body. It's a central nervous system stimulant, and consumption causes alertness to the brain, which hopefully is used to stop migraines, headaches, stay up later. The most studied behavioral effect of caffeine is acute locomotor stimulation, which is how caffeine keeps the brain more alert and active after being consumed. There have been a lot of studies also on the sleeping habits that caffeine is known to cause. Memories of visual images are stored in a part of your brain called visual memory. It's associated with higher brain functions such as academic achievement, fluid intelligence, and just a general sense of comprehension as you're going through your day. Smaller memories, such as what you had for dinner and things you won't need to remember again, are stored in a type of short-term memory called visual working memory. And this is what I'll be using to study the fruit flies. And visual working memory can be anything. It can be from remembering the drive from work to school, matching names of faces to people, and even what you had for breakfast this morning. Drosophila are also known as fruit flies, share 60% of their genes and genetic makeup with humans, making them an ideal subject for thousands of scientists. They are also known to hold a reliable long-term memory, and they use this long-term memory to make their decisions throughout the day, which is also how humans base most of their decisions. The purpose of this experiment is to prove whether or not caffeine has a damaging effect on the memory of fruit flies and use these results to consider what is safest for human consumption. My hypothesis is that if the dosage of caffeine which the adult fruit flies are exposed to is increased, then their ability to relearn and retain memory will decrease. My independent variable was the amount of caffeine administered to the Drosophila in quantities of 0 milliliters, 5 milliliters, and 10 milliliters. The dependent variable of this experiment is the memory itself of the fruit flies. I measured this by timing how long it takes for each fly to cross over to the side of the apparatus that is associated with the unpleasant memory of being shaken up. More info about this in the procedure. So the flies are separated into vials of 10, 5 male, 5 female to minimize error. Caffeine is administered to each vial the day before experimentation. And I used car fresheners as a stimulus, a piece from a Hawaiian freshener into each vial, and then I shook it so the flies will have an unpleasant memory associated with the smell and hopefully will avoid it in the future. I also told the difference between male and female flies by looking at their abdominals. Males have a pointed one and females have a rounder one. This is my apparatus. So as you can see, there's a clear downward trend in the time it took for the flies to go back to the side where they have an unpleasant memory associated with the smell, meaning it took them a shorter amount of time to forget as the dosage of caffeine was increased, showing that there is a clear significance with caffeine and memory. Getting to significance in t-tests, I did a type 1 two-tailed t-test where the p-value needs to be less than 0.05, which is true exceedingly for all these values, proving that the data is indeed significant and there is indeed a correlation between caffeine and memory loss. What does this mean? My hypothesis was supported by the data, as an increase in caffeine consumption by the Drosophila resulted in the fly's decreased ability to learn and retain memory. And then once again, all t-tests were proved to be significant as all p-values are less than 0.05, meaning that there is clear correlation. As a possible future extension, I would like to study the offspring of the caffeine-affected parents. Will the damage have already been done with the parents being exposed, or will the offspring have absolutely no side effects? Will there be a significant difference if the offspring are subject to this very same experiment? My hypothesis is that if offspring of caffeine-exposed adults are also consuming caffeine in the same amounts, then the offspring will have a worsened memory than that in their parents, based off the results of this experiment. Thanks for watching.